Oh man, it feels so good to be back. It really, really does feel good to be back. Welcome aboard, everybody. The cave from within has made its return. Man, it's been I feel like I haven't done a broadcast from the cave within in a while. And for all my longtime listeners, I apologize about that. A lot has been going on, a lot of transition, but we're putting ourselves in the right position. I want to wish y'all a happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to my Cave Within family, from my regular broadcast listeners and to all my first time listeners. Welcome to the Cave Within. This is your ambient sanctuary for a balanced fusion of poetry, meditation, stillness, breath, ambient soundscapes, and spiritual reflection. And why not have a little spiritual reflection on this Sunday night soul edition of the Cave Within? That deserves a round of applause within itself, because I feel like it's been a while since I've done a Sunday night soul session within the Cave Within. But of course, for all of my first time listeners, if you feel like becoming a part of the community here within the Cave Within, be sure to hit that subscribe button to kicks.com backslash Mr. Did Not Give Up 44 at Mr. Did Not Give Up 44. Your support is appreciated. That way we can continue to create this balance, excuse me, balanced fusion of all things poetry, meditation, and stillness. We're still hitting them with that PMS effect here in the cave within. And tonight's theme, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of came up with this theme tonight a little bit on the fly because I wasn't sure what I was gonna talk about on the broadcast. I just knew I wanted to do a broadcast. It's been one of those type of times, but here we are. But I honestly, prior to me doing the broadcast, I was kind of cleaning up around the house. I usually clean the house at least maybe on a bi-weekly basis, just so my house doesn't get too dirty. And I was kind of thinking, since I'm over here cleaning up the house this weekend, it's been a me time in a way experience for the most part, because again, there's a lot of transitioning going on and a lot of adjustments that are being made, and a pivot is on the way, so to speak. So tonight's theme, we're cleaning up for the pivots. And by the way, this is for the restless souls, the night healers, the deep healers. I didn't forget about y'all. And again, friendly reminder for all my first time listeners, those who are regular broadcast listeners know this, but this is your live digital sanctuary for anyone who wants to unwind after the week, study or focus, sleep, reflect, pray, meditate, journal, whatever gets you spiritually and creatively recentered. That is what the mission, vision, and sense of purpose of the cave within is about. But again, tonight we're talking about the space between where you've been and where you're going. Because I feel like there's been a lot of that going on within just the course of my life, you know, from doing my personal training business, getting ready to partner up with a childhood friend on another business. So it's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of moving pieces. And I could honestly say, just from my perspective, sometimes the next chapter does not begin with adding more. It begins with cleaning things up a little bit. You got to clean up some old thoughts, habits, fears, distractions, maybe some identities, and even a lot of patterns for sure that no longer belong in your future. That last one resonates with me a lot because I've definitely have been rewiring some old patterns that no longer belong in the direction that I'm going. And another thing that I've been realizing is that before the pivot, there is often a pause. And that's just a friendly reminder of what we're going to do in the cave within since it's been so long. We need to give ourselves permission to pause. So let's establish our stillness and create that pause. As we do our friendly inhale through the nose for 3 to 5 seconds, holding our breath for 3 to 5 seconds, and slowly exhaling through the nose or through the mouth, letting it out softly, of course, for 3 to 5 seconds. Repeat that process once more. As you inhale through the nose, hold your breath for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then slowly exhale once more through your nose or through your mouth for about 3 to 5 seconds. Notice any tension and stress you may be feeling, whether it's in your shoulders, your jaws, your hands. Just let it all go, release it all. And remember, you do not have to perform here. You don't even have to explain yourself here. All you have to do is just simply arrive, show up to the party, and join the Cave Within Sanctuary. That's all you got to do. That's all you have to do. And again, if this space helps you breathe easier, for those who are watching live on Kicks, subscribe, kicks.com/ Mr. Did Not Give Up 44 at Mr. Did Not Give Up 44. Let me know how you're feeling in the chat. All thoughts are welcome. Positive or negative, all publicity is good publicity the way I see it. You're doing something right when you're getting one or the other, if not both. You're getting reactions. That's another way I look at it. But if you're watching the replay on my Rumble page, be sure to hit the subscribe button there at CPHFWB44. That's at CPHFWB44. Hit the subscribe button there for the Rumble page. Let's do a quick little grounding practice. Again, continue to establish that stillness, baby. If it feels comfortable, real quick, just kind of close your eyes, soften your gaze for just a few minutes, I promise. Feel your feet on the floor, the roots of your feet. Feel the support beneath your body. As on your next inhale through your nose, kind of think to yourself, I am here. And as you exhale, letting it out softly, think to yourself, I release what I no longer need. Again, breathe in, think to yourself, I am here. Exhale and think, I release what I no longer need. Do that for about a couple of series of breaths on your own as we continue to inhale through the nose and slowly exhale through the nose or mouth. And as you continue to breathe in, as you continue to breathe out, on your next inhale, remind yourself, I am open. And on your next exhale, remind yourself, I let go. As you breathe in, remind yourself that you are open. And as you exhale, remind yourself that you can let go. Continue to inhale, continue to exhale as we ground ourselves within this quick little stillness practice. On your next inhale, remind yourself, I am ready for clarity. And on your next exhale, remind yourself, I release all confusion. Again, breathing in, breathing out, inhaling through the nose, reminding ourselves, I am ready for clarity. And on your exhale, as you let it out softly, let yourself know, I release confusion. So tonight, we're not forcing the pivot at all. Oh, no, no, no. We are simply preparing for it by simply making room, asking ourselves quietly, what am I carrying that cannot come with me into my next season? It's a real good question. What are you carrying that cannot come with you into your next season? You don't have to force an answer, by the way. You just allow the question to sit with you. And while that question continues to sit with you, let's sprinkle in a little bit of poetry as we continue to establish that PMS effect of poetry, meditation, and stillness. Your live digital sanctuary, courtesy of the Cave Within, baby. We're diving into our first poetry reading for the night with this poetry piece that I put together called The Cleanup. Before the door opens, there is dust to gather, old promises that no longer sound like your voice, old fears that learned your name and start calling themselves wisdom, old habits that kept you alive in one season but kept you small in the next. Clean the room not because you are ashamed of where you have been, but because you are making space for where you are going. Let the clutter leave gently. Let the memories remain lessons without becoming landlords. You are allowed to carry the wisdom without carrying it. The weight, the cleanup. Let me know how y'all are feeling in the chat, like always. And if you're watching the replay on Rumble, let me know how you're feeling in the comments as well as we run that back one more time. First poetry reading, the cleanup. Before the door opens, there is dust to gather, old promises that no longer sound like your voice, old fears that learned your name and start calling themselves wisdom, old habits that kept you alive in one season but kept you small in the next. Clean the room not because you are ashamed of where you have been, but because you are making space for where you are going. Let the clutter leave gently. Let the memories remain lessons without becoming landlords. You are allowed to carry the wisdom without carrying the weight. And that is the cleanup. That is the cleanup. Let that settle. Let that sink in because that's what we do here in the cave within. And friendly reminder, cleaning up does not mean rejecting your entire past. It means really learning what belongs in the next chapter, what you got to throw in the archive and keep in the vault. That way you don't have to create no more faults you have to deal with down the road. Just a little bit of words of wisdom, a little bit of words of wisdom. As we continue to reflect, I want to throw in a small little reflection before we go into our second poetry piece and before we go into our meditation. Keep things short, simple, and sweet on this Sunday night soul session, the Cave Within live broadcast. It is August the 16th, 2026. Man, we are midway through the month of August. This month is just flying by like crazy. But here we are. Many people want a new beginning, but they keep protecting the patterns that create the old one. I know I've been there a couple times. I could definitely relate. But one thing I'm starting to realize, in all honesty, is that the pivot may require us to definitely clean up. Sometimes it could be the way we talk to ourselves, how we utilize our time, figuring out what constantly is draining our peace and our energy and keeping us so disconnected and preventing us from changing with the same old stories and songs and dances and all this stuff. But the next version of you may require a different rhythm, a different rhythm. With that being said, let's throw in a little bit of a different rhythm of poetry with our second poetry piece. It's called The Pivot. Goes like this. You will know the pivot is near when the old life starts feeling too small for the truth. You have finally admitted the silence changes, the questions deepen, the familiar begins to feel like a room with no windows. Do not panic. Sometimes discomfort is not destruction, sometimes it is direction. Sometimes the soul moves first and the circumstances take a little longer to catch up. So clean your hands, clear your vision, steady your breath. The road ahead does not require the person you were to remain in charge. The pivot, baby. The pivot. And like always, if you're watching live on Kicks, let me know how you're feeling in the chat. All thoughts are welcome, positive, negative. It's all about growth and improvement and evolution together because we are a digital sanctuary family here in the cave within. It's all love. It's all love. That's the way I see it. I'm going to run back that second poetry piece one more time before we go into our ambient immersion. That's our meditation, basically. Our second poetry piece for the night was called, and is called rather, The Pivot. You will know the pivot is near when the old life starts feeling too small for the truth you have finally admitted. The silence changes, the questions deepen. The familiar begins to feel like a room with no windows. Do not panic. Sometimes discomfort is not destruction, sometimes it is direction. Sometimes the soul moves first and the circumstances take a little longer to catch up. So clean your hands, clear your vision, steady your breath. The road ahead does not require the person you are to remain in charge. The pivot, y'all. The pivot. And if that touched you, please, by all means, let it stay. A pivot is not always a dramatic announcement. It really isn't. Sometimes it's a quiet decision, one step at a time, one day at a time, repeating slowly but surely, right? Until your life begins to change. At least that's what I've been realizing within my own journey. Maybe y'all can relate, maybe not. I'm just talking to you from my perspective, helping you unlock your middle ground within the cave within. And you know what? Speaking of that, let's go ahead and dive into our meditation for tonight. We're not wasting any time here. It's been so long since I've seen y'all. I'm not gonna waste y'all's time. We're gonna get right into it. Keep it short, simple, and sweet on this Sunday night soul session as we clean up for the pivot because there's gonna be a whole lot of pivoting going on for good reasons, for real good reasons. But we're now moving into the ambient portion of tonight's broadcast in the cave within, which is basically meditation time. Less talking, more sound, more space, more stillness. Again, regular broadcast listeners, y'all know this. First time listeners, this is the part where we reflect more, pray more, journal, study, rest, sleep. Remember, get us feeling more spiritually and creatively recentered and allowing the week, this week we just dealt with, to just leave our mind, body, and spirit. As the soundscape begins, let's just begin to close our eyes and soften our gaze, release ourselves from all thoughts, feelings, emotions, and ego. Notice how we're feeling any tension and stress from the roots of our feet up to the crown on top of our head. It no longer serves us. We let it go. We release it all. And we continue to go back into our energy drink from the beautiful nature we get to embrace, being the power of our breath as we breathe in through our nose, holding that breath, and as we exhale through our nose or through our mouth, continue to inhale, continue to exhale. And if you get lost, come back to your breath, let the sound hold you, return to your center, and remember there's plenty of space to make for the pivot. I'm going to allow y'all to dive into the meditation at this time, and we shall be right back here in the cave within. This is your live digital sanctuary for all things poetry, meditation, and stillness. We shall return shortly. All right. And just like that, we are back here live in the cave within your live digital sanctuary for all things poetry, meditation, and stillness. Still in tune with our meditation as we continue to breathe in, breathe out, releasing the week. You do not have to carry everything into tomorrow. We're just cleaning the inner room gently, letting old fear lose its authority. Breathing in, breathing out, reminding ourselves that we can make room for clarity and trust the next step. We are allowed to begin again. As we begin to wind things down with our short little quick meditation for the evening, and we'll transition back into our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our ego, slowly becoming attached to them, acknowledging and accepting and embracing what they truly are, what they represent at the end of the day. As we wind things down, like always, with our three biggest inhales and our three biggest exhales, as we continue to breathe in through our nose for 3 to 5 seconds, holding our breath for 3 to 5 seconds. And then we'll slowly exhale through the nose or through the mouth for 3 to 5 seconds. We'll go ahead and repeat that process once more as we inhale through our nose, holding our breath for 3 to 5 seconds, and then slowly exhaling once more for 3 to 5 seconds. One more time, y'all. Let's inhale. Make this our biggest inhale of the whole meditation practice. Inhaling through the nose, letting the breath expand the chest and the belly button while we hold our breath once more. Last time. And then we'll exhale. Let the chest sink back into the body. Let the belly button sit back into your abdominal region. Notice how we're feeling, any the tingling, warm tingling sensation, the life force energy of the oxygen and blood flow going within you, and just reminding ourselves that we are safe and we are grounded and we belong to the world. And whenever you're ready, you can simply just open your eyes and welcome back from the ambient immersion from the cave within. I wanted to give you a quick heads up on a few things before we close out the broadcast. Like always, if you're in a season where you're ready to clean up your habits, strengthen your body, clear your mind, and reconnect with your purpose, that's what I do as an ISA certified personal trainer and exercise transformation specialist. I want to introduce you to my personal exercise transformation program, where again, the program customizable for yourself, whether in person or online after the free consultation, of course. We'll design something, say, that has something to do with primal pattern movements, maybe some mindful nutrition, intermittent extended fasting, those three things that are part of my personal triple threat system that will help you overcome your fitness mirage and unlock the hidden potential between your mind, body, and your overall spirit. Because to be honest, the goal is not just to look different, it's really all about helping you feel stronger, moving better, thinking more clearly, and really living with more energy. So if you're interested in a free consultation to where we can get a customizable program set up for you in person or virtually for the HFWB Exercise Transformation Program, please reach out to me personally at 361-765-4760. You can call me directly, you can text me directly, or if you want to email me, you prefer that, all lowercase, by the way, CPOPE, that's C, the letter C, POPE, my last name, dot my initials, CP at gmail.com. You could send me an email there. We can get that consultation set up in person or virtually, and we can get you on track to having a healthier lifestyle with a holistic approach and hitting that reset button on our nervous system. Oh, before I forget, you could also keep up with all information and resources courtesy of the HFWB podcast series Episodes being released every single week on Apple and Spotify podcasts and on Rumble as we speak. Go check out part one of my conversation that I did with the lovely Miss Elizabeth Kipp, talking about the importance of the great healer that lives within us. That's a very powerful conversation. Part one is out now, and part two is on the way sooner than you think. And be sure to go check out the August 2026 edition of the Future Fortune series as well. That is out now on the HFWB podcast series. Hit the subscribe button, share every episode with someone who may need it, and please leave a rating and review so more people can tune in. And again, all things health, fitness, wealth, business, resilience, spirituality, personal transformation. HFWB podcast series is the place to be where information is the new money, of course. And real quick, before I forget, I want to remind y'all about my book, The Fitness Mirage, that I was referencing earlier when I was talking about the exercise transformation program. Fitness Mirage is my personal book that basically describes everything that I do as an ISO certified personal trainer and a exercise transformation specialist. Put it all together in one book for you. Quick little short read, and it explores the difference between chasing appearances and building real health, strength, and sustainable transformation. That is my book, The Fitness Mirage. It's available in ebook and the paperback version that I'm holding in my hands. You can order your copy on Amazon. And please leave a review so more people can do the same as well. And if you go to my HFWB Gumroad store, that's Gumroad, just type in gumroad.com and you could type in Fitness Mirage or my name, Clifton Pope. You could also get the Fitness Mirage in audiobook for those who are interested in the audiobook. And by the way, you could also get a multitude of digital projects that are available on the HFWB Gumroad store on gumroad.com. You could get the Nighttime Sanctuary Volume 1 through 3 pack that has guided meditations, personal poetry readings that you could take with you on the go and take the Cave Within live digital sanctuary on the move with you. And by the way, there's more poetry, got personal poetry readings and guided meditations coming very, very soon. Be on the lookout for that. You could also get access to my Understanding Chaos, Turmoil, and Uncertainty course. That's in the HFWB Gumroad store. You can get access to things like, oh, yeah, you could also get access to my Infinity Chakra poetry book. That is also available in audiobook as well on my HFWB Gumroad store, as well as on Amazon and paperback and ebook. And you could also get other digital products like my success planner for those who are looking to plan things out for your success, for their health and fitness, all those things. You could get my glow up journal, my meal preparation guide. You can get a multitude of things in the HFWB Gumroad store because all of these resources that I'm mentioning to you, they're designed to help you keep growing beyond the broadcasts that take place within the cave within. And by the way, if this space helps you breathe easier, support it by subscribing or tipping to kicks.com/ Mr. Did Not Give Up 44 at Mr. Did Not Give Up 44. Your support helps me continue to create the soundscapes, the readings, the guided nights, and the transformational resources. And I want to check in with my community here in the cave within. If you're watching live on Kicks, let me know how you're feeling in the chat. All comments and thoughts are welcome, positive or negative. It's all about growth at the end of the day, and it's all love. And if you're watching the replay on Rumble, same goes for you in the comments as well. Just let me know how you're feeling. If it's one word, multiple words, hey, whatever is true for you is always welcome here in the cave within. Take one final inhale for me for 3 to 5 seconds. Hold your breath one last time for 3 to 5 seconds, and then exhale slowly and let it out softly one last time for 3 to 5 seconds. Let it all go and just ask yourself real quick, What is one small action you could take this coming week to prepare for where you're going? What could it be? It could be anything. Moving your body, getting better sleep, starting a new book, making that phone call you've been wanting to make, organize the finances, clean up the schedule a little bit, or tell yourself the truth and be open and honest in your communication. I don't know. What is one small action you could take this coming week to prepare you for where you're going versus where you have been? Something to think about and something to let sink in here in the cave within, baby. And I want to thank y'all for being here tonight for the Sunday Night Soul Session special edition of the Cave Within as we clean up for the pivot and continue to come in hot every single time we go live on the broadcast here in the Cave Within. My name is Clifton Pope of Health, Fitness, Wealth, Business, and I have been your personal guide for the Cave Within. And for all the restless souls, the night healers, the deep feelers, even though I may take breaks from time to time, I still look out for you, and the Cave Within is definitely for you. And this is for everyone as well, preparing to move from one season to the next. I want y'all to remember one last thing as we close out the broadcast, or before we close out the broadcast. You do not have to carry every old pattern into a new beginning. That is something that I'm learning more and more every single day because if I can do this, so can you. Let's clean up gently together, breathe deeply together, move intentionally together, and make room for what is next. Because you never know what can happen next. And one last time, if this broadcast continues to give you peace, kicks.com/ Mr. Did Not Give Up 44, at Mr. Did Not Give Up 44, Rumble at CPHFWB 44 for those watching the replay. And I want to wish y'all a wonderful, restful night. Release the week, prepare for the pivot, and I'll see you next time, baby, inside the cave within. Peace and love, y'all. Peace and love.